What was the scariest thing you have ever seen in your dreams? This doesn't sound super scary, but in one dream I was a doctor and for some reason my patient was in my home. I went to go talk to him at the door and his face was horribly disfigured, and it was like melting and oozing in front of me. He slowly started groaning and limping towards me, and he was unnaturally tall and hunched. I screamed and ran into my pantry and tried to hold the door shut, but he forced it open and started strangling me while I just kept apologizing and crying. This was when I was 12 and I still think about it a lot.
I am not sure if this counts, but I used to get really bad sleep paralysis. I have an old wooden rocking chair in my room. One night my eyes fluttered open and I was laying on my back, with my head turned towards that chair. On that chair there was a woman crying her eyes out, staring directly at me as she pulled out her insides. Her skin was a pale gray color, and she had blonde hair. She just stared at me. I was scared shitless. I tried closing my eyes, and then I felt a pressure on my chest, common in sleep paralysis. You guessed it. She was sitting on my chest, pulling out her innards all over my chest while crying. I actually wet the bed. I was 20.
My sleep paralysis demon is spiders crawling everywhere I look. It used to really freak me out, but then I taught myself to look at different spots on my wall when it would happen. Same spiders, same visual movements, but only where I was directly looking. It helped reground me in reality.
Funny story here. So if I ever take melatonin, I get really messed up dreams. Mix that with my irrational fear of bees because I was attacked by a swarm when I was a kid. Well, the first time I spent the night with my future wife, I took melatonin for reasons I still don't know. Well, in the middle of the night I started to dream that I was being attacked by a swarm of hornets. Apparently I had a full-blown panic while asleep. She said I jumped out of bed, stripped naked while running to the kitchen, and that's when I woke up, in my underwear standing in the kitchen confused as fuck. Haha, I still don't get why she married me.
The one image that always sticks in my head is that I was being stealthily pursued by some man. He finally caught up to me and cornered me in a dark house. He pulled off his face, handed it to me, and said, "I'll be coming back for that," before disappearing into the shadows.
I'm looking into my bathroom mirror and my face is like peeling off and leaving a void. Something like this.
City got bombed, all children evacuated and took shelter on a ferry. Turned out children were fed to monsters there.
I've had similar dreams. At least the city, town being bombed part, most likely because the town I lived in was supposed to be bombed by Nazi forces during WW2.
Always shortly after their death I dreamed of dead relatives and their dead bodies talking to me. It happened with 3 different relatives already.
You know that girl from The Ring? Yeah, the horror movie. She haunted me for my whole childhood, and I would always get dreams of her.
When I was like 9, I had a dream where my mom passed away right in front of me. I woke up bawling my eyes out. And when I saw she was okay, I slept with her the rest of the night.
Naked old men laughing at me while I am strapped into a blackboard.
I was a child. I woke up at night, and I looked at my alarm clock, those digital ones with red digits, just to check how much time was left to sleep. The time read 4 p.m., and the room was completely dark. I was confused and was trying to understand, when suddenly I saw a figure coming up from the stairs, just a shadow, and it was clearly holding a knife. That's when I really woke up. This is the scariest one in terms of fear, but in terms of hopelessness, this other time I was with my girlfriend. We were in the desert and a dim sun was lighting the landscape. We were looking at the sky when, slowly, what seemed like a small light in the sky started increasing in size. After a while we realized it was an asteroid about to hit the Earth, and as it was coming closer and closer, with nowhere to go, we simply hugged, waiting our inevitable death. I woke up crying.
In the dream, I wake up AMD. It's eerily quiet for a busy city. Look outside the window and there is water right up to the 30th floor, smack bang in the middle of the city. The water is calm and clear like it had always been there except for the floating debris.
When I was 6 or 7 I dreamed about me and my mum walking down the street on a misty morning, and the mist becoming more and more thick as we walked, till the point I couldn't see her anymore, nor feel her hand around mine. I got lost in the white and started crying and calling for her, but the only sound that came back was an animal growl. I started running forward, following the sidewalk, until I stepped on a red thing lying on the tiles. A pack of stray dogs were eating what I just knew it was my mum's leftovers, and since then I have this unreasonable fear of dogs.
I once had a dream where I was spinning in circles faster and faster with every minute, and couldn't stop it. Woke up with ear inflammation and dizziness. From that point, I have been regularly getting ear inflammation.
When I was about 4 years old, I had a nightmare after seeing the movie The Withs, and at one point I walk into a room where all the walls and floor is made out of white light, so you can't actually see that it is a room. The reason I knew it was a room was because my father was sitting on his knees with his back almost to me but a little on the side, and behind him a woman with a drill, and she looked at me and started drilling into his neck. I really don't know how I could even dream something so intense at that age, but nightmares and sleep paralysis runs in the family.